Hello there. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the cover for Tales from the Smoking Wyrm number 8. So this is a color proof. It's actually one of the few color proofs I've ever had to have done. We were concerned, this is actually a 4-layer risographic printing process, so there's 4 different ink types that are layered onto the cover for issue 4. We've done this once before, actually with 3 layers, but never with 4, if I remember correctly. And then we've done something really cool over here with the Smoking Wyrm sign. We've given you this gradient that flows through these 4 colors. So all the way from this kind of hot pink all the way down to this really nice green and everything. So this is a great thing. And we were worried about the color separation process. And so what we did was we asked our printer to give us a proof of that, and what they did was they did that. This is our color separation at the top, and then this is their Resolve version down here. They suggested that we actually make these tonal changes to get it a little more kind of intense, which we agreed to. We thought it was a great idea and everything. What we didn't count on was that this process would lead to further problems. And so here's the actual printed, risographically printed issue 4. It looks wonderful. You can see that it's really beautiful. It's got really nice, the yellow pops really nicely. The art looks great. We're extremely happy with it. Everything came out pretty much as we wanted. With the exception of a couple problems. So let me give you an example of that here. We have a huge article on Zhen in this issue. It's just magnificent. But if you look here at this one, you can see the difference in tonal quality between this page and the next. Right? This page looks a little grayer, and if I zoom in even further, you should be able to see that there are little gray dots across the entire page. It turns out that is because of a 1% gray layer that was a color that was not removed by the artist when they scanned the original piece. And our monitors didn't even pick it up. You need to have a quite expensive monitor to even see these gray layers. And when they're converted to, when the linotype hell software converts this for plate making, it actually converts it to these dots. So there were a couple of internal problems that we weren't happy with, but that wasn't the deciding factor on to reprint this. The real issue was this cover. And if you listen to it here, let's see if I can, we've done videos of this before, but see how that's different sounding than this? What's happening here is the laminate is pulling up, and what ultimately happens is you get the laminate pulling up quite a bit, and you get this loss of color and everything. This is just one example of that, right? And so when we got those in the mail, they didn't look this. I've actually pulled this quite a bit. But this soft edge feature, we could imagine a whole bunch of people getting their really beautiful limited edition Smoking Wyrms, and then after a couple of weeks, they had lamination pulling off, which would not be acceptable. And that's just a huge waste. And so what we did with that was we contacted the printer and we said, hey, we've got a couple problems. We talked to them about the internal problem and learned about the 1% gradient issue. But we also, talked to them about the cover. And so these are color proofs of the cover for the second print run. And everything. And what we've done here is we've just kind of pulled at the very last bit, in the last millimeter or two, the linotype hell has pulled the color out of the edge. And you almost can't even see that. But what it does is it makes for a much nicer, if you listen, we're listening for this nice stiff color of the sound. That means that the laminate, there's a little bit there, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to blacken these in a little bit, just so that this is uniformly black at the edge. Not like a border, but just kind of filtering over to black to give it some more purchase. Anyway, this looks like it's a good run. I've got a number of these, and we played with a lot of them, and they all sound pretty good. You know, this is what we're wanting is to not hear feathering. So they sent me, you know, quite a few of these just to play with, and I've been playing with them for about a week. And so the one that actually feathers a little bit there, that's because I've been beating it up with my fingers every day, running it across my thumb over it, or my finger over it multiple times a day to see what it would do. Anyway, so these are almost completely acceptable. We're going to do a couple little modifications. We're also going to go in and knock out some of this text so it looks a little better. We're going to make some fixes. We're going to fix the inside, and so that's where we're at. I don't know right now if they're going to ask for another proofing process. You know, let's just see where we're at. But I wanted to give you an update of where we were, and this is where we're at. We're in the process of resolving these issues so that number 8 looks as glorious as it can, and is a fun issue to play with. This piece by Joel Phillips is just amazing. Culpepper's came out looking very nice, and so yeah, there's a lot there. Oh, also one other thing we noticed was this. So it turns out that this scuffing on the inside, right, which you can see there, is also kind of not acceptable. And it has to do with the lamination in the post-printing process, scuffing up and getting warm and lifting the print and everything. And so, okay, they have a solution to that so we won't have any scuffing at all. Now, obviously, this isn't printed on the inside, but you also don't see any scuffing from previous pages. And that's the issue. You're sort of printing them, the sheet 2 up like this, right, which is how a normal copy of the Tales from the Smoking Wyrm prints. What they recommend we do is only print 1 to a side, which gives us this other page over here that's basically empty, and we can do some bookmarks or something in there that we'll give away for free. It'll cost us about $300 or $400 more to print a run, so it raises the price quite a bit, but I think it is the better setup. So anyway, that's where we're at. We are in the process of fixing the cover. We're trying to get this done as fast as we can, but it takes about a week or so to get it back and forth from the printer. So thank you for your time, and I hope everything, I will hope to have a good timeline solution for you as soon as possible, and we'll go from there.